Going into Fastlane, I really do wonder how in the living hell Daniel Bryan is considered the babyface. But, that being said, this go-home show, I gotta say, had something for everyone. Oh yes. Wah-ah-ah-ah.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then open the make.
What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and this is Road Signs. This is the go-home show for Fastlane. I'm really trying hard not to make a joke about the fast lane heading to the road sign, but we're not going to do that because that's not what we do. This is the February 16th edition of Raw. Going into tonight, we knew a few things from the pre-show. We were going to get Kane versus Roman Reigns. We were going to get Daniel Bryan versus The Big Show, matches to look forward to for sure. We knew Dusty Rhodes was in the house to try to put his boys back together, and we knew from the pre-show that Darren Young is back. He's gonna find a random partner, to face the Ascension. Yeah. We'll see how that goes a little later on, honestly. Cena comes out to open the show, and immediately I groan, but immediately I take it back, because this opening segment only went about 10 minutes, and it was actually quite good. Cena comes out, hypes up Fastlane, does the typical Cena stuff, hypes up, kisses Orlando Florida's ass, because that's where they are tonight. Cheap pop, wannabe Mick Foley shit. Replays the Rusev attack from last week. Rusev beat me down last week, but he's not unbeatable. I will beat him. I will take the fight to him. Then he goes into a little more of the typical John Cena. I love this. I love the cheers. I love the boos. But this Sunday, I'm not going to smile. I'm not going to high-five anybody, and I'm not going to have a good time. This Sunday, I make history. This Sunday, I beat Rusev. This Sunday, I become the United States champ. And he says that particularly loudly, whereas you want to believe with everything else John Cena's accomplished, him being that hyped about the United States Championship is kind of unbelievable on one hand. But on the other hand, it boosts the United States Championship to a certain point. Don't know how I feel about that. But any attempt to boost the United States title, which is seen as, let's face it, it's seen up until the point they put it on Rusev, was seen as the jobber title. It could be considered a good thing. Rusev and Lana come out, and she says exactly what we're all thinking. All of this is typical Cena rhetoric. You live in a delusional world, and Rusev is superior to the entire WWE, even the man that never gives up. There's you're made a name of yourself for coming back from every beating you've ever gotten, and never give up and all that sort of thing. But this time, there's no coming back, and you will be crushed. The last thing Cena says is, sorry. Rusev has never been defeated, but that's his downfall. He doesn't know what it's like to lose. If you keep flapping your gums, yada yada yada, there's going to be a fight. But he doesn't wait. Cena and Rusev brawl up the ramp, and here's where, I don't know, maybe this is just me, maybe this is what actually happened, but it seems like they flipped a switch in John Cena at this particular moment. Typical goofy, Fruity Pebble, honey shaken, honey boo boo John Cena flipped over into a little bit of ruthless aggression, Cena, because he gives a spinebuster to Rusev on the ramp like he did last week, and this time it's Rusev that eats the LED board, but he eats it twice. First time he's already dead on his feet, second time is more for the effect, and then you get what you don't normally get from John Cena. John Cena standing over Rusev, who's completely out at this point, just pounding the living crap out of him, and he actually gets up in the faces of the referees that try to stop him. Not quite babyface-ish. Like I say, this is a little tiny flash of old school John Cena, and it could be just that. But if they're going in this direction, with John Cena, it could be good, especially if he's bringing that intense John Cena that we like to the mid-card. Two things in one. Poses with the United States Championship at the end, which is also, it's a good thing. If you put aside the fact that, okay, it's John Cena, he's a 15-time world champion, what the hell does he need with the US title? Seeing John Cena proudly and, really, intense, that whole, every vein in his arm is popping out, intense, holding up the United States Championship, it's a good thing. This was a good opener. Yes, it opened with Cena. Yes, that's kind of typical. But as I said before, it's a nice build. It's a nice build for a mid-card match, for one thing. And yes, I do consider this a mid-card match, because it's not It's not in the main event. It's not for a main event title. It's against Rusev, who is a mid-carder, for the U.S. title, which is a mid-card title. So John Cena added a whole lot to a mid-card feud to probably the least prestigious title in the company. Everything is good, and this opening segment only took about 10 minutes, and it didn't kill anybody, and it wasn't, you know, the Authority, and it wasn't Daniel Bryan and his pity party story, which we'll get to later. Dean Ambrose is seen in the back. He does a little bit of a news spoof. Breaking news, bad news, Barrett is still not accepting the well-deserved challenge of Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship at Fastlane. Here's the news flash for you. I beat a former Intercontinental Champion last week in Curtis Axel. I'm going to beat another one tonight in Luke Harper, and you will, by the end of tonight, bad news, Barrett, sign this contract. I like this. And the naysayers are like, oh my god, it's so sad that they have to copy SNL. It's so sad that they have to copy the Emmys. This makes sense. If you consider what they've done to the Bad News Barrett gimmick in the past little while, and the BNZ, which is an obvious takeoff of TMZ, this was the perfect way for Dean Ambrose to mock Bad News Barrett's current character. Now, if you could stop looking for reasons to shit on the WWE, you would see that what Dean Ambrose did is right in line with what his future opponent is doing. I don't understand why you need to stretch the boundaries of logic to make that turn that into a bad thing. I really don't. But Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose is up next. Harper tosses Ambrose down to start the match. They trade shoulder tackles for a little while. A snapmare, a takeover and a headlock all by Ambrose. Ambrose works the arm, which is nice. Harper brawls back in the corner. Crossbody punches, elbow drops, all by Ambrose. A splash and a bulldog by Ambrose. A flying elbow, I can speak, I swear. A flying back elbow by Ambrose and an attempted suicide dive. Here's the thing is that I find really, really cool. On one hand, it's like, oh my god, that sucks for Ambrose because he got no-sold a little bit. But on the other side, you got somebody the size of Harper there. Ambrose with the suicide dive is pretty fucking awesome. For Harper to stand there and basically block it off. Not only block it off, but Ambrose is the one that goes down. Harper responds with a big boot when he gets up, which is nice. Harper rides a headlock in the ring for a long time. Ambrose bites the hand to get out and tosses Harper out of the ring. Once they're back in the ring, a top rope tornado DDT by Ambrose. And here you go. Punches, chops, headbutts, drop kicks, and a top rope elbow to a standing Harper, all by Ambrose. Harper gets up because he's crazy, gets a super kick, black hole slam, gets the super kick, gets the black hole slam, rebound clothesline, and dirty deeds by Ambrose gets a win. And you think that Dean Ambrose is going to call out Bad News Barrett? No, he just takes his contract that's been sitting on the commentator's desk and sort of walks back into the ring for a second, teases, grabbing a mic, teases that he might do something else to Luke Harper, and leaves, keeping everybody on their toes, including his opponents. It's all very good. The first of many Bray Wyatt promos. Guys, make all the jokes you want. This hand is very sore right now from writing out all the Bray Wyatt promos from tonight. Yes. Spaz's hand is sore. Yes, somebody out there is going to turn it into a masturbation joke. Here, 5 seconds, go. Are you done? Did you get out of your system? Can I move on now? Alex, I know it was probably you or Preston. Are you good? All right, cool. Wyatt, the first promo of the night. What happened to you was such a tragedy. What happened to you still stirs a rage deep down inside me. It makes me want to do horrible things, and now you are an empty shell. And any fear I once had for you has now turned into nothing more than putrid, hateful pity. It's coming. Oh yes. In the back, we see Gold and Stardust still arguing. Dusty comes out, gives them a pep talk about how they're the Rhodes brothers and how they should come together and how paint and stars and everything means nothing if you don't have family. So basically, way to come and visit your kids and shit on both of their gimmicks. Dusty, good job. New Day, which in this case was Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston with Big E on the outside versus Gold and Stardust. A kitchen sink by Xavier Woods to Cody Rhodes to start the match. Kitchen sink is a pretty odd move to start a match with, but we'll go with it. Shoulder tackle and arm drags by Goldust to Woods. Tree of Woe double team by Gold and Stardust on Woods, and Woods hits an enziguri on Goldust. Top rope clothesline and a drop kick by Kofi. Boom drop. All of these they look great. They're all from Kofi, they're all the Goldust, and they all look wonderful. Stardust misses the disaster kick. Kofi hits Goldust with a spinning back kick to get the win out of, let's be real, nowhere. New Day win. Stardust helps Goldust up. Goldust is really selling the fact that he's got his bell rung, he can barely get to his feet, yada yada yada. Stardust is helping him up. You see one guy, and he's on the hard camera side. You see one guy in the front row shout at Stardust, "Goldust is the weak link!" And Stardust pretty much listens to it because he picks up Goldust, hits him with the crossroads, and they leave. After the break, I didn't write this down, but Dusty Rhodes confronts Stardust and basically says, Cody's dead. Cody, he goes into a lot of universe metaphors that I don't remember at this point, I'm not going to lie. But he basically says, you know, science leads to things rubbing together and exploding. Cody exploded because he couldn't survive. Cody is dead, and he looks right at Dusty Rhodes and he says, so is his father. Oh yes. Roman Reigns' interview in the back tells a bunch of Royal Rumble truth, if I do say so myself. Talks about, you know, how he has respect for Bryan. You know, Bryan took an advantage took an opportunity that was presented to him, and he can respect that. But if you ask him, and if you put him in Daniel Bryan's position, if he had lost the Rumble, he would have taken it like a man. If it wasn't for Daniel Bryan taking advantage of the authorities' wheelings and dealings, Roman Reigns would be taking his rightful place at WrestleMania. That's all true. Daniel Bryan lost the Rumble, guys. It is what it is. Roman Reigns won the Rumble. Roman Reigns should be going to WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, for all intents and purposes, aligned himself with the authority to get a shot at getting a shot at WrestleMania. This is fact. You want to call Roman Reigns a heel all you want, but everything he says here is true. And I think that's why you don't like him. And that's kind of sad. Oh yeah. Roman Reigns versus Kane is next. So of course Daniel Bryan has to come and absorb some of that spotlight, doesn't he? He comes out, bullshit, yes chance, all that, you know, standing on the announce table, stomping his feet like a petulant 5-year-old, and then he stays on commentary for the rest of the match, shit-talking Daniel Bryan. I'd like you to note that Roman Reigns does not do this in Daniel Bryan's match later on. Roman owns with a boot and punches. Vertical suplex by Roman, and Bryan tries the distraction, getting up on the table, making all kinds of noise, getting the fans to help him. Kane boots... That says Kane boots Big Show, because I write down things that aren't true at all. Kane boots Roman. There's a DDT by Kane, and he rides a headlock for a long time. Roman fights out and Roman fights out and catches a back elbow by Kane. Back elbow by Roman evens that score, and Roman comes off the top rope, but Kane catches him with an uppercut. Double dropkick to a seated Roman Reigns looks nice for a big guy. Roman Reigns sitting in almost the Undertaker sit-up position. Roman Reigns, in that position. Kane coming off the ropes and hitting a low dropkick for a guy his size looked really nice. Big boot by Roman, and this is where this match makes me smile so much. Everybody knows on NXT, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks gets the Sasha's Ratchet chant, but then it's quickly followed up with a no she's not, and it's just as loud. And for this, the crowd chanting at Roman Reigns, "You can't wrestle," equally loud chant, "Yes he can." Fuck yes, it's not as one-sided as you would like to believe. Roman Reigns hits multiple clotheslines and a Samoan drop. Bryan just tries the distraction once again. Kane gets another big boot. Roman hits a spear on Kane outside the ring and wins by countout, despite goat faces. Distractions. Now, Roman Reigns doesn't go out and attack Bryan, just sits on the middle rope, inviting him into the ring. What does Daniel Bryan do? He runs around the ring and leaves. 'Cause he's a bitch. Oh yes. We see Wyatt in the back again. His hands may have created the world, but mine will destroy it. Limbo is no place for a soul like yours, and I'm waiting for you. We go to the back. We see one of the interview guys, I think it was Byron Saxton, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, trying to get an interview with Paige. And the Bellas come out with all of Paige's clothes, which is fantastic. And said, you might get an interview with her, but she won't have much on. And if she's got a match coming up next, she might have to wrestle naked. Which, at that point, suspension of disbelief is something I just put to the side for a second. Can you imagine, just imagine Paige just wrestling naked? Just... Okay, girls, go get a coffee or something like that. Guys, come along on this ride with me. Paige, wrestling naked. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's all good. Paige comes out in a towel, tries to ask Cameron if she can borrow an outfit. She gets the girl by, and then she sees the rosebuds and grabs one of the rosebuds in their very colorful attire and says, "You gotta come with me." So, of course, coming after that break, Summer Rae versus Paige. Summer's waiting in the ring. Paige's music hits. It hits, I think, 2 or 3 times before she actually comes out. She comes out in a combination of her gear and whatever the Rosebud chick was wearing. So it's half colorful, but she's got like the black stockings and the black boots, the black makeup, the black hair. But I put on the page there what I was thinking at the time, and it just says Paige comes out as a goth fairy, what the fuck. And that's basically what it is. But she's pissed. She owns Summer Rae, clotheslining her on the ropes several times with the awesome Paige jumping headbutts that she does, tossing her with elbows in the corner, and then a mudhole stomp, multiple knees to the midsection. Finally, her offense gets broken by Summer Rae hitting a spin kick, and Summer Rae, channeling her inner Jack Swagger, hits the almost Hogan leg drop. Oh yes. Paige's rolling clotheslines, a super kick to the gut, and a PTO gets the win for Paige. The Bellas come out trying to mock her. Bree's wearing Paige's jacket, which I thought was a really nice touch. But before they can say anything, Paige cuts them off. I don't need an outfit to look good. Sunday, I'll be wearing the Divas title. Fan-fucking-tastic. So now we've had build for the US title, some build for the IC title, and there's more to come, build for the Divas title. It's all good. We get another Sheamus return video. As I've said before, and I've been saying since we started seeing these, come back, kick Daniel Bryan's head off like you did at WrestleMania in 18 seconds, and we'll be all fine and wonderful. Sheamus, you and me will be great. All past bullshit aside, you will stop being the Ginger John Cena, and you will be awesome. Rollins versus Ziggler, I wrote here right on my notes, is too good for notes. It really is. J&J Security get ejected quickly. The match is fucking phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, go see it. That's all I'm going to say about the match. It ends in a disqualification when J&J Security run in again. Ryback and Rowan come in to even the odds, and Dolph wins. Later on in the night, we find out that this Wednesday on SmackDown, they are going to have another match. J&J Security are barred from ringside. It's going to be fantastic. If anybody can explain to me why this match is not scheduled for either Fastlane or WrestleMania, please do so down in the box below. The Fastlane kickoff, it's announced, will have Miz TV with Paul Heyman. So that's fucking wonderful, isn't it? Why is my computer doing... There we go. Triple H comes out, and this promo goes a bit long, I'm not gonna lie. He says, the new word going around the street is that he's afraid of Sting. I'm not afraid of Sting. It takes more than mind games and parlor tricks to get a hold of me, to get the better of me. WCW will stand in the ring this Sunday with WWE, and it will be historic. Flair comes out. Surprise appearance by Flair for the win. Wonder if Charlotte was in the back. Maybe so. You can't curse me out. I'm here out of respect. In fact, you can't curse me out here. This is where you inducted me into the Hall of Fame. I'm out here out of my love and respect for you. Don't take Sting lightly. Don't put yourself in a position to fail. Triple H says, I'm a student of the game. I've watched you take on Sting. I've watched you take on Sting for 60 minutes. I watched Sting earn your respect. I watched him become the icon of WCW. Hell, he was WCW. The last WCW match was between you and Sting. If he came here after WCW died, I would have run him out quite quickly because his legacy was built on your reputation. And he's trying to take away what I have now because he's WCW and I am the WWE. Flair says, very simply, he's just kind of laughing, chuckling to himself, as the older characters do. Look, Sting, he's already in your head. Triple H is great when he's wrestling, but Bryan beat you at WrestleMania last year because time off is your worst enemy, and basically saying that Triple H was rusty. I don't want Sting to sneak up on you. When I tune into Fastlane, don't let me see you on your ass. Knocks out Flair, basically says in the shouty last little bit of the promo that once I'm done with Sting at Fastlane, he will never be back in the WWE again. That is the Cole's Notes version of that promo. It went on... How can I say this? I like Triple H and I like Ric Flair, but this thing went long. I understand why Flair was there. There is no existing history between Triple H and Sting. There is no existing history of Sting in the WWE at all. So a large portion of the wow factor of this is them relying on the fact that we've watched WCW. And that we know that Sting and Flair went head-to-head. And we know what the last Nitro's last match was. And there's a lot of people, especially the younger fans, that just don't know that. I want to see this because I just do. I remember Sting in WCW. I remember Sting in TNA, for those of you that want to shit on that one. But there's a lot of people that just... There's a lot of young fans and a lot of casual fans, or there's a lot of fans that just didn't watch WCW or don't watch TNA that would just say, you know, what the fuck's the big deal? And that's ignorant on their part, but at the same time I can definitely understand it, because if you're strictly a WWE fan, there's not really a reason to get excited about this, is there? I mean, that sounds disrespectful, and I hope I'm not coming off that way, but if you're a strictly WWE fan, then WCW is the one... the company that fell apart and gave us some extra superstars right back before the invasion happened. And that's basically all you know about WCW. And during that entire time, during the simulcast Raw, the simulcasted Raw and Nitro, during the entire invasion angle, there was no mention of Sting. There was no mention of most of the big top names. So anybody who's watched just WWF, WWE their entire life doesn't know who the fuck Sting is. And as sad as that is, I can understand them not giving a shit. Darren Young and a jobber who didn't even get an entrance versus The Ascension. All I have to say is Darren Young, what the fuck, with the sideburns and the goatee, and they're all separated by slits in the hair that... None of it fits. It's like Chocolate John Cena went out to a gag shop and put on a fake beard and fake hair and whatever. And the jobber that he's with doesn't even get a name. I'm assuming he's somebody from Developmental. He's got a pretty impressive looking back tattoo from the 2 seconds that I saw him on my screen. They get beat down by The Ascension, and how. And Darren Young gets saved by Titus O'Neil for reasons, and the match never starts, and we're all left to question, is the Primetime Players coming back? The Primetime Players music hits, basically solidifies that. The jobber gets carted off, we never see him again. And it's not earth-shattering, but one more legitimate team in the tag team division could be something? I don't know. I feel like they put Titus O'Neil on pause and waited for Darren Young to come back and made him like face comedy guy, heel comedy guy that's just there, and now Darren Young's back, so now here's the Primetime Players again. So what you've done is you've obliterated the idea of ever having a Primetime Players breakup storyline, because you've proven that if they split up, Titus O'Neil does nothing. If they're back as a team, good. They're entertaining as a team. They're not going to win the belts, I hope, but they're a good mid-level comedy team, you know. They'll sell some t-shirts, the millions of dollars. It's cool to have another legitimate tag team on the roster. I'm not saying that they're going to shoot to the moon. I don't see them going up against the Usos next week, is what I'm saying. Mizdow versus Bad News Barrett. Miz in the back is seen having a meeting with Bad News Barrett. He says, I need you to basically take my protege, my assistant, down a few pegs. He's getting too full of himself, yada, yada, yada. If you help me teach my assistant a lesson, I'll help you with that Dean Ambrose contract situation, which doesn't really happen. Barrett beats down Mizdow in the corner to start. Mizdow turns the tables and does the same thing back. Miz is at the corner. Miz is my fucking hero. Rings the bell. It says, bell means stop, the bell means stop, the bell means stop. Miz orders Mizdow outside of the ring to the chair where he's sitting in the big sort of director-looking chair. Says he needs a scuff buffed out of his shoe. Makes me smile a lot. Barrett boots Mizdow off the apron. Barrett rams Mizdow into the apron. Barrett rides a headlock for a long time. Mizdow hits the Miz-style back and neck breaker and goes for a pin. Bell means stop, bell means stop, bell means stop. Miz says there's a spot on his sunglasses that needs to be fixed. Distraction by Mizdow leads to the bullhammer, and Bad News Barrett gets the win. This match didn't do anything for Bad News Barrett. It did a lot to build the humiliation, tension storyline between Miz and Mizdow, which is fine. But in case you're wondering, in case you're worried about Bad News Barrett having something to do at Fastlane, Ambrose jumps Barrett. He eats post. Ambrose zipped while he's eating the post, friggin' shoulder first. Ambrose zip ties him, arms crossed around the post, and makes him sign the contract for Fastlane. So now we have Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett at Fastlane for the Intercontinental Championship, which is wonderful. Now we've got two segments that have built the Intercontinental Championship going into Fastlane. We've had one hell of an opening segment to build the US title. We've had an embarrassing segment and a match to build up the Divas title. It's all good. We've added a new tag team to the tag team mix. This Raw is doing a lot of good. Wyatt, once again, with a hammer and nails. And I know it's WWE and they're aiming for kids and they need to make things kind of idiot proof, but the cliches and the stereotypes and the imagery of The Undertaker could not be any more clear than when you see Wyatt cutting his promo, nailing nails into wood. And I swear to God, if they don't pan back from that video next week and show that it's a casket, they've missed the switch. Oh yes. What shakes the heart of a man who can never truly die? I believe I've found the answer. The answer lives within me. The answer is Bray Wyatt. There's nowhere left to go. The angel with the burnt wings cometh. It's time. Find me, or I'll find you. When this happens, it's going to be fucking wonderful. Jimmy Uso and Naomi versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. They point out that this is the first husband and wife versus husband and wife mixed tag match in WWE history. I really doubt that that's actually true. They also announced, finally, that the Usos are going to face Cesaro and Kidd at Fastlane for the Tag Team Championships, which is all good. There's only one way the WWE should go with this. Mat work and a lot of headlocks by the ladies to start. Same with the guys when the guys tag in. Kidd hits a running kick to Jimmy's face, which is nice. The ladies come in, they grapple some more. Double drop kick attempt and both of them fail. Naomi tries what I can imagine would be a wheelbarrow suplex, but it's blocked and Natty drops her on her ass, which makes everybody laugh, if nothing else. Basement drop kick by Natty, and there's a counter pinning sequence, an awkward counter pinning sequence for a while, and finally Naomi gets the win. Naomi gets the pin. Jimmy and Naomi get the win. Tyson blames Natty for the feud, or for the match ending. He yells at her in the ring after the match, and her music plays at the end. Because WWE sound, guys. This match will be great on Sunday. If they throw in Natalya versus Naomi as a bonus match, Natty better win, is all I'm going to say. Daniel Bryan versus... What the hell? We're almost at the end already. That's fantastic. I've only been talking for 26 minutes already. Bryan versus Big Show. Roman Reigns comes out to view the match. Now, a bunch of people said to me on Twitter, it's like, how come you don't blame Roman Reigns for doing it, but you blame Daniel Bryan for it? Very simple reason for that. Daniel Bryan is the quintessential babyface, the downtrodden, poor Daniel Bryan babyface guy who always does the right thing. Roman Reigns doesn't necessarily have that. He has different expectations of his character. And, at this point, Bryan's already done it. So Roman Reigns doing this is just a little tit for tat. Now, you might argue with me. You might argue against that logic, and that's fine. You'd be wrong, though. That's about it. This is where we have the announcement that Rollins versus Ziggler is going to happen on SmackDown, that J&J Security is going to be barred from ringside, and the commentators talk about that for a bit and compare them to hobbits, and let's capitalize on the popularity of Lord of the Rings as long as we can. Okay. Now, much like SmackDown last week, let's see if you guys can pick out the theme of this match. We start with the silly kicks. We go to the corner, and there's silly kicks. Show, rightly so, swats Daniel Bryan away like the mosquito that he is and pounds him in the chest. Silly kicks, and another swat. Big Show headbutt and a slam. Chops and silly kicks, and another swat, which makes me smile. Roman Reigns, here's where I love fans. Bryan actively at ringside distracting Roman Reigns during a match is okay, even though he's the face. Roman Reigns stepping out over the guardrail to go out and sign autographs with the fans makes him a bad guy. Didn't get on the mic, didn't talk shit about Daniel Bryan, didn't get on commentary and talk shit about Daniel Bryan, didn't touch Daniel Bryan's match whatsoever. Goes into the crowd, signs some autographs for some fans. Only way this makes any sense is if Daniel Bryan is so conceited that he thinks every single person in that arena is his fan. And that sort of conceit would make him a heel, would it not? But I digress. Bryan hits a sleeper on the Big Show, or rides a sleeper on the standing up Big Show. I have to say this. I know Daniel Bryan's a technical marvel. It really is true, and I will admit that. Daniel Bryan with a sleeper on the Big Show just looks like the Big Show's wearing a hat. It has to be said. It has to be said so much that I need a drink. Somebody commented on my SmackDown video when I started it with how drawn out I was by last week's SmackDown that they thought it was incredibly amusing that I said I wish my drink had booze in it. Cheers for that. Okay, Big Show's wearing a hat named Daniel Bryan. Bryan breaks it, silly kicks, and he gets swatted away again. Running elbow by Show, which looks cool. This was very much like the running splash that he did on SmackDown, which I think is really... because you don't picture Big Show doing a running move. I mean, he does the spear, but in the sense of doing a running, jumping, landing move, he's not the most agile guy in the world. So the running splash that he did on SmackDown and the running elbow that he does here looked really, really good for the Big Show. Now, I'm not saying Big Show world title, Big Show main event. I'm just saying Big Show, for the little expectations we have from him these days, looked really good. Standing headlock on Bryan looks fucking incredible. Because here's Daniel Bryan. Here's Big Show standing over Daniel Bryan, like looking like he's about to fucking eat him. Giant mudhole stomps in the corner and a Big Show headbutt. Show gets pissed off by Roman Reigns for reasons, starts clubbing Bryan in the back like crazy. Bryan, because he's super goat, gets up, and what do we get? Guys, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, say it with vigor. More silly kicks. Bear hug by Show, which should kill Daniel Bryan, really, should it not? Bryan headlocks Show on the rope, which looks weird. He does the Benoit thing. Like, he does how Benoit won the Rumble when it got down to Benoit and the Big Show, and he basically holds a headlock forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until Big Show falls out of the ring. Roman Reigns is such an evil, heely bastard that he hands out some shirts in the crowd, and this makes Daniel Bryan mad. Bryan tries his bullshit suicide dive, and it's rightly blocked by the Big Show. And it's not like earlier in the night when Dean Ambrose did his, and it was blocked by Luke Harper, and it was all good. No, Daniel Bryan drops like a fucking rock because Show blocks him, but because Dean Ambrose knows how to sell, and Daniel Bryan hasn't quite grasped that yet, he's up right away, and the Big Show eats post. And what do we get? What do we get? It's in big capital letters at this point. There's a big exclamation point again. What do we get? More Daniel Bryan silly kicks. Oh, yes. Show outside tosses Bryan into Roman Reigns. Show then tries to spear Daniel Bryan and hits Roman Reigns. Show splashes Bryan in the corner, which looks disgusting, and again, should probably kill Daniel Bryan, really. But instead, Bryan up, more silly kicks, and the yes lock, and Show breaks it, because really, all he has to do is get across the ring, and Bryan is on his back and weighs like a quarter of his weight, so it shouldn't be a problem. Show breaks it. Daniel Bryan is so angry, so frustrated by this, he responds with more Daniel Bryan silly kicks. Oh yes, it's my favorite thing in the world. Bryan pins. Show tosses him off, and rightfully so. Superman punch by Roman to the Big Show, and Daniel Bryan loses. Big smile on my face. Big smile on my face. Because, in all honesty, you could say, Roman Reigns screwed over Daniel Bryan. Well, really, all Roman Reigns did was get revenge on a big motherfucker that threw a little motherfucker into him and then speared him. So he's within his rights to go and get some revenge on the Big Show. More to the point, Daniel Bryan loses tonight. Roman Reigns wins tonight. Score is 1-0 for Roman Reigns, and I'm a happy kid. Daniel Bryan is such a sore loser that he drop kicks Roman Reigns from the top rope behind. Jumps him from behind because he's a good guy. Right. Roman, pissed off, manhandles Bryan right out of the ring. Bryan eats the guardrail twice. They get back into the ring. They're pulled apart. And you can see them. There's like 10 referees separating the two of them. And this is where you get the actual intensity. This is the intensity that I know a lot of people wanted to see from Roman Reigns. This is the intensity that I wanted to see from Daniel Bryan. But they tell him, like, hey guys, it's all about WrestleMania. It's all about Fastlane, guys. Shake now. And they do like a miniature little handshake thing. They both turn. As soon as Roman Reigns got his back turned, Daniel Bryan jumps him again like the little mosquito that he is. They brawl again. They brawl into the stands, and then they brawl from the stands back to the ring. As they're coming through the crowd, they come through the timekeepers area there, and there's another switch that gets flipped. Kind of like John Cena at the beginning. I know, we're going to compare Roman Reigns to John Cena, but this is in a good way, so deal with it. Daniel Bryan is the first one to grab a weapon. Let me be clear on that one as well. Daniel Bryan, the babyface, supposedly, that doesn't deserve the shot that he's getting on Sunday at all, is also the first one to grab a chair, whacks Roman Reigns in the face with it. Roman Reigns, like, rears up, like he's got like that beast, that animal kind of rear up, and he smokes Daniel Bryan in the face. And from the way it's shot, you can't tell whether he got him with an elbow or a forearm or whatever, but it looks like he just plastered Daniel Bryan's face. It's a good one. Bryan eats apron, Bryan eats announce table, Bryan eats apron again, and then they brawl over the commentator's table, and they're pulled apart again to stop the show. Now, in the pull apart, in the referees, you see Hugh Morris, you see Norman Smiley, you see a bunch of referees. I thought I saw a couple of other people that I recognized, but I couldn't place the faces. This was really good, actually. This was really, really good. We got billed to a tag team title match between two teams that have been fighting for a long, or not a long time, but several weeks. We finally got the match announced, and that's Cesaro and Kid versus the Usos. I really hope the Usos lose. Not because I think they're a bad team, but just because they are becoming the Cenas of the tag team division, where it's like, if there's a tag team title change, it's going to be them. I really hope Cesaro and Kid get the win. I really do. I really hope Paige gets her Divas title back. We had build for that tonight. We had an embarrassing segment with that tonight, and we had a match, and we had a post-match segment that all led up to that. We had two segments that led to the Intercontinental Championship match that we have coming up on Sunday, which I hope Dean Ambrose wins. We had a great opening segment that led to Cena versus Rusev, which, if there's any legitimacy to John Cena's eye injury, we can understand why it was just a short segment and there hasn't been very many matches. There's a lot, like all the title matches, all the matches that we've built up for Fastlane are either title matches or have title implications. The only match I can think of that's not for a title is the one for the title shot at WrestleMania. So that even that can be considered in the title realm, I guess. I'm hesitantly looking forward to Fastlane. I know it's just a random pay-per-view that they've thrown in the middle now because they've gotten rid of Elimination Chamber, but I am cautiously optimistic about Fastlane. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, if we get the intensity out of them that we got tonight, will be a good match. Apparently it's not going to have an ending because apparently WrestleMania is going to be a triple threat match, but the match should be good. Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett should be a good match. Dean Ambrose is crazy. Bad News Barrett is oddly, annoyingly funny in his own way. Cena versus Rusev for the U.S. title should be really interesting because I really want to see what those two are doing going into WrestleMania. As I say, the Tag and Divas title, you know where I stand with that. But this show as a whole, like, it had a bit of everything. There was more than one Divas segment. There was more than one Divas match. There wasn't a whole lot of filler, really. We've still gotten to see the Ascension look somewhat strong. We got the reintroduction of another tag team. We got a lot of good things on this Raw, guys. I got nothing to complain about. I know where other people are going to pick things apart, but that's based on their revisionist history, shall we say. History, the history of this show will be revised by the time everybody's videos hit YouTube tomorrow. I guarantee it. And it'll be to either super boost whoever they're voting for, or it'll be because they wanted a reason to shit on the show. I'm not looking for a reason to shit on the show, and I won't. This was a good Raw. This was a hell of a good go-home show. This is one of the better go-home shows I've seen for a pay-per-view in quite a while. I'm losing my voice, so this is going to be the end of the video, but thank you guys. As you guys all know, please toss your questions down in the January Ask the Phoenix if you want to be on the February Ask the Phoenix. Please put your questions down in the box below with the hashtag SPOK for any questions you want to be included in the Fastlane pre-show that I will be doing hopefully Wednesday. Please hop on board on the fan interaction videos that I've been doing the past little while. The response for those has been great. And that's about it. You guys are fantastic. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, I'm tagging out, guys. Bye.